If you have any anatomical issues, then it's important to make the adjustments that you need or skip some of these postures. Let's get started. To come into Halasana or plow pose, you'll need a blanket. This helps us to relieve any pressure that might be experienced on the cervical spine. You'll take your blanket and place it right to the top of your shoulders, so that way your crown and your neck are evenly supported. First, bring your knees to your chest and press down in your triceps as you lift your seat up and overhead. If possible, you'll interlace your fingers behind the small of your back, rolling the shoulder blades in, and you'll notice that the back of my neck is long. I will continue to walk my toes towards the crown of my head as I clasp my palms and use my triceps and the back of my crown to press into the mat. Ear pressure pose is another name, and we can release the ear pressure by bending the knees. This variation can often feel very good for most of us that have any spinal or anatomical issues. Again, be aware of where you can handle and feel free to skip any of these postures. For bow pose, you take your blanket and place it right underneath your pelvis, where your sacral chakra is. Let's take a moment to place our palms down. You can rock your hips side to side. For bow pose, you can start by reaching one leg back and holding on to the top of your foot. Draw the other heel towards your buttock. You can flip the palms towards the inside with the thumbs pointing up towards the big toes. It's important to keep your drishti or your gaze slightly in front of you as you kick your feet into your hands and lift the front torso. The blanket underneath my pelvis acts as a cushion for my sacral chakra. Keep kicking your feet into your hands, and remember to only take this as far as your spine and your anatomy allows you. To come into Gomukhasana, you can either sit on a blanket or use a block. I like to come into Gomukhasana from table pose. And drawing your navel into your spine, draw the right knee in between the palms and splay your right heel over to the left side. Next, touch your left knee behind you, making sure that you're not sitting on your heels, and if need be, sit on a bolster, block, or blanket. From here, you'll take your right hand up, gently bend it behind you, left arm extends to the side, thumb points down. Send your arm way behind you and reach your fingertips back as you press your crown into the back of your head. For the full variation, feel a subtle lift of your pelvic floor as you round forward. You can also use a strap for this variation. Be mindful of any anatomical issues that you might have, and I'll show you that here. So let's come out of this posture. Come back to table pose, and let's draw the left knee in. Touch your right knee behind and splay your heels out to the side. Reach your seat back onto a block, making sure that you're not sitting on your heels. This time we'll take the left arm up, bending at the elbow, and you'll take your right hand with internal rotation, thumb pointing down. Send your right arm as far as you can behind you and reach back for your fingertips. Now, if you can't quite reach, you can always use a strap and follow the strap as you walk your fingers towards each other. Feel a subtle lift of your pelvic floor and hinge forward, keeping a straight and neutral spine. There are a few options that we can take for bridge pose. One option, as we lay down, is to take a passive or restorative bridge. As you lift your hips up, you can take the block and place it underneath the flat part of your back, known as the sacrum. This is a great pose to elongate the low lumbar and feel that sense of supportedness as you open up the heart and open up the chest. If active bridge is something that calls you, we'll press the triceps into the earth with the fingertips reaching up. Lift your hips, pressing the back of the crown into the earth. Rolling the shoulder blades in towards one another. You can work the fingers to clasp the palms and feel that subtle lift of your pelvic floor. Be mindful that the thighs are not overextended, but instead work the big toe mounds into the earth and draw the energy of the inner thighs in towards each other.